What's up, people? So I had I guess you would call, student recently ask me what is neutral. So I figured I'd go over neutral today. So neutral, in the driest of fighting game terms, is the state where players do not have, or characters do not have, the advantage between each other. Now, I personally don't think that neutral actually, in that particular term, exists. So I actually have my own term. I say it's the state where characters have the least amount of advantage between each other. Because there's always going to be a character on the screen that has more advantage than the other. Like, for example, right now, if you look at Katana and Jackie, Katana has more advantage here because her back two reaches really far, right? But you could argue that in this particular state, no character has crazy amount of advantage over each other. So that's why I call neutral the least amount of advantage between each other. I think that's a more fitting term for neutral. So I just explained how Katana has a back two advantage here. You can clearly see that she has so much space with that move. Jackie, on the other hand, excels better at this range, right? This is what we would call footsies. Katana wins this footsies game because she's allowed, or the neutral game, I guess, in a particular sense, because in this range, she can hit you with back two, while Jackie, in traditional fighting games without dashes, has to dash up and do a forward three. Now, neutral is usually lost when you're in the corner. Oops. Sorry. I've been playing Street Fighter, so I have to remember where everything is. When you're in the corner and your opponent is pressuring you, right? Because you can clearly see here, I've lost the neutral, I'm in the corner, I'm having to deal with pressure, right? Now, a huge kind of misunderstanding, I feel, is a lot of people will tell you it's all, like, everyone's neutral. Well, there's universal things, right? So, like, for example, Katana will be winning the neutral if she has you in the corner, right? Because she has all the space to move back, but you have no space to move in the corner. Why did it do that? Oh. There we go. So, like, you know, if I have Jackie in the corner or closer to the corner and I'm able to walk back and throw projectiles, then I have more advantage, right? Or even here, you could argue, if excluding bionic bounce, you could argue that Katana is winning the neutral because she's got all this space to zone her opponent, while her opponent has to get in. So she's winning the neutral. Now, that's a small example of neutral. You can click off the video now if you don't want to hear the rant, because I feel like sometimes people don't want to hear the rant. But the reason why I was mentioning in Street Fighter neutral is better played compared to MK is there's a few reasons. The first big reason is that dashes can't be checked. So pretty much all of your buttons can be extended by dashing. This is why you can't, in the truest of sense, check movement in this game, because dashes, they can be canceled by blocking, right? So you really can't figure out where your opponent is going to be all the time. Like, moving back and forth, this really isn't a thing. Like, if you have a good enough dash speed, there's not really much I mean, neutral's still technically being played in the truest of sense, but you can't really guesstimate where your opponent's going to be because you can just cancel all your dashes. This isn't a common thing in Street Fighter. Dashing in Street Fighter is a one and done. You dash and then you block. Same thing with Injustice. You dash and you block. There's no canceling dashes. I think even in MKX, like, backdashing, you can't cancel a backdash. You have to backdash fully and then block. This is important in games that need to focus on neutral because you don't have to guesstimate where people are going to be, or like if they extend their buttons, right? Because you can see here, right? Katana can extend her button here, but then when you walk back, Katana can still extend her button, which is like, well, I'll just say, like, if Jackie's over there, she can still extend her button, right? Look at that. It extends it completely. And you canceled your dash. This isn't a thing in Street Fighter. You have to walk up, or you have to dash and then do it, which allows your opponent to check your movement. So you can't really check movement. I mean, you can, but not really. You can't fully check it. Like, if Jackie tries to check my movement here, right? I can just, hold on. I can just stop, you know, stop halfway. Hold on, let me try again. See, I can just kind of stop at a certain range and then check her, right? Instead of just doing a dash and getting hit. That's not a thing in, you know, kind of traditional footsies. Traditional footsies, you can't really cancel a dash and then go into a button. It's just, I don't know, it's just something I kind of noticed, and I didn't even realize, like, it's actually kind of important that's a thing. Like, you can check dashes, because being able to dash, like, I can't really get, like, when I'm playing against, like, Molina or Rain, it becomes kind of hard to figure out where they're gonna be. Same thing with Kotal, because he has such long-range buttons, and he can kind of cancel his dashes, so his buttons are even longer than what they actually are. It's just kind of weird, but anyway, that's one reason. The other reason is jump-ins, and I've talked about this before. Jump-ins just kind of eliminate footsies altogether. You're so busy worried about the footsies games. Let's say we removed dashes entirely, right? Let's say we completely removed, like, being able to cancel your dashes, and you had to do traditional fighting games where you dash and you can only cancel, or you can only block after you finish your dash animation. Well, the jumping would still be a problem, because it's like you're looking in the neutral, and Katana's moving around in the neutral, and then she just does this, and you can't really, like, you're so focused on the ground that you go for the anti-air, but you go for it too late, because there's a specific timing in this game where you have to anti-air, unlike, you know, other games like Street Fighter, where you have low profiling more present low profiling anti-airs, invincible anti-airs, anti-airs with armor, stuff like that. They can kind of deal with jump-ins, you know, late reactions, pretty much. So that's one reason. And then finally, the last reason is just simply things like this. Things like this. There's no neutral being played here. There's none. That's not neutral. That's not neutral. This is fear. This is pure pressure. This is just pressure. That's all this is. I don't know how to explain it more than that. I mean, that's pretty obvious to me. You could argue, you know, some of things like Scorpion's teleport. Maybe Scorpion's teleport should not have a cancel. Maybe it should only be an attack button. So then when you block it, you get a full combo punish, because it's like a, you know, a fuck neutral tool. But this is a perfect example. This mind game, the fact that she can even amp it too. So, like, you have to, like, guess once she gets in. You don't get to just completely anti-air, you know, like Joker. Yeah, it's I don't honestly, I don't know what's already been said about this. I mean, I don't really need to say what's already been said about this. Like, that's not neutral. Obviously, you know, if I'm here, oops, sorry. Again, I haven't played MK11 in a while. If I'm here and I'm playing neutral, and then she just kind of jumps at me, like, the whole time I'm looking on the ground, right? I'm looking on the ground to throw a projectile, and yeah, you know, you're thinking about you know, zoning her out, and then nope, that's just not neutral. It's not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I want to talk about. Obviously, there's different characters that excel better in neutral. If you stayed for this video, I probably should have put this at the beginning, but there's different characters that excel, you know, at different things in neutral. Like, obviously, Jackie wants to be up close, so she'll be winning the neutral game when she's up close. Katana wants to be far away. She wants to be zoning. She wants to have, I guess, she's kind of a footsies or a a button range zoning character where she uses normals to zone you out too, because she's got like this down 4, she's got the back 2, she's even got the long active frame back 1 4 2 that's really safe. So she's kind of like, you know, zoner, safe character, keep you out kind of thing. And then you've got characters like Cetrion that kind of do something similar. So that's kind of what zoning is, or zoning, that's kind of what neutral is. And different characters excel in different areas. Most characters dominate in the corner. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You've also lost a neutral when you're on the ground, in traditional fighting game sense. So like, if I throw you to the ground, normally you've lost some sort of neutral there, because you're on the ground, and I'm on top of you in traditional fighting games. It's not like that in MK11. MK11, there's pretty much neutral on the ground. It's kind of weird. MK11's kind of that exception that you're still playing neutral even when your opponent's on the ground. But anyway, that's it. That's all I want to talk about. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Discord. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, subscribe for more.